This is the Dzogchen Sendai Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. Let's explore. If you feel awful after meditating, watch this, followed by meditating like a Jedi. An individual lamented. The individual wrote that they had just finished their third hour of meditation, and for the first 5 minutes, they felt amazing. However, after that, they felt terrible. They felt like they were losing their mind. They felt like they couldn't focus on doing anything. And it's been like that for 5 hours after meditation. Is this normal? Is their question. Many years ago, I voiced a similar lament to a friend of mine, an elder friend of mine, who said and who explained to me in a conspiratorial tone and a wink of his eye that doing anything for a tower, doing anything for 1 hour is going to fatigue you. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. My fellow Monty Python friends will know exactly what that means. So, let's face it. Physically sitting in impeccable posture for 60 minutes can be daunting if you are not physically conditioned to do so. So let's explore this from 3 points of view. We'll start with the lifestyle causes. This is simple. These are simple variables in our lives that by adjusting, they will increase our contemplative stamina. Number one, explore the variables necessary to get a good night's sleep every night. Many years ago, I read that the most productive sleep is the sleep we get prior to midnight. Establish a routine and stick to it 7 days a week. So I'll share with you my routine. Because of my multiple overlapping disabilities, insomnia has been a challenge my entire life, both getting to sleep and staying asleep. So this is what I do. At the same time, at night, every night, turn off the TV, turn off the big lights. Get ready for bed, brush the teeth, take off the clothes, the whole 9 yards. In a darkened apartment, I read a novel set aside specifically to be read before sleep. I read it with my right eye closed, my left eye open, which according to Tibetan energy work is supposed to fatigue us. And the first time I nod off, I take off my hair tie. The second time I nod off, I put the book down, or in this case, the device upon which I'm reading the book, and pad off to the bedroom. In the middle of the night, when invariably I get up to go pee, I don't wait to see if I can return to sleep. Too many times I haven't. So I just make it a habit, returning to the living room, getting some water, and sitting on the sofa with the book, reading the book on a device again. And once again, my right eye is closed, I'm gazing through my left, and when the second time I nod off, I go back to bed. 9 times out of 10, this helps me get a reasonably good night's sleep, as well as can be expected for someone in my circumstance. But that's not all. Additionally, every day, weather permitting, I expose myself to sunshine. Have to do if it's overcast, but sunshine, fresh air, exercise, and I consume a whole food vegan diet. There are plenty of wonderful videos on YouTube to help baby step you through the process. But it is, when done properly, it is not only healthier and kinder, but it's actually less expensive than a typical diet through the cunning use of, buying in bulk and using an Instant Pot pressure cooker. I can't spend a lot of time on my feet in the kitchen because of my back, so the pressure cooker really helps with my cooking. Those things will profoundly help with your stamina. Now let's look at the physical causes of fatigue. Sitting in meditation with impeccable posture is difficult. It's made worse if you are enduring physical pain. So it's imperative that we sit in a sustainable method. Listen to your body. Pain, we did not evolve the capacity to perceive pain as a flaw. We evolved the capacity to perceive pain to increase our chances of personal survival and the procreation, as well as the survival of our species. When you are uncomfortable in a certain position, adjust it so you can diminish the discomfort and find greater comfort. Give yourself permission to have a learning curve. Give yourself permission. Not everybody is physically able to sit for 60 minutes without feeling fatigue. So start small. How about sitting for 5 minutes once every 12 hours for a week? When you feel ready, when you feel what I like to describe as divine impatience, you can advance that, increase that to maybe 10 minutes the second week, maybe 15 minutes the third week. After about 10 weeks, you could find yourself sitting for an hour. By taking 10 weeks to gently acclimate your body, not only do you prevent needless emotional turmoil and physical turmoil in your body, because let's face it, there are no emotional disorders. There are only emotional symptoms of physiological disorders. And any new parent who's had a colicky baby can tell you that sleep deprivation will make you stupid and cranky. Fortunately, it is reversible. Lastly, let's explore the mental causes. Not all meditation teachers are created equal. Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks, including meditation teachers. For the majority are so rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel that they will actually advise you to actively focus and actively analyze, which, when overdone, can so exhaust our dorsolateral and medial prefrontal cortex that we cannot help but begin presenting with symptoms of depression, no less triggering our amygdala, the seat of both anxiety and aggression. Fortunately, neither our amygdala nor the prefrontal cortex constitute the entirety of our central nervous system. Consider, if you will, the simple spinal cord, which could be described as the hub of our autonomic nervous system. When we passively cooperate with the hub of our autonomic nervous system, we will notice that the anxiety and aggression of our amygdala is calmed, and the empathy of our anterior cingulate gyrus is gently stimulated, non-neurotically stimulated. We will also notice an increase of our effortless awareness and transformative peace. Sounds great. Sign me up. How do we do this? Simple. The hub of our autonomic nervous system has two facets, a sympathetic facet and a parasympathetic facet. Let's explore them right now. We'll begin with mindfulness. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to automatically access the middle bit of our spinal cord, which could be described as the hub of our sympathetic nervous system. It has evolved to help us to notice in a very special way. It has evolved to help us to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice all mind's antics of perception. Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including the full spectrum of human emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings, including the external, the internal, the physical, the mental, the pleasurable, the painful, the interesting, the boring, the glorious, and the grotesque. But what are we to do with that which we have noticed? That brings us to meditation. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to automatically access the tippy top as well as the very bottom of that same spinal cord. These two regions, working as a team, could be described as the hub of our parasympathetic nervous system. It has evolved to help us to physically relax and mentally release during our exhalation to such a degree that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and even as non-graspable as a vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could look tantalizing to the eye, could feel non-graspable to the hand. And so we see that whether we're talking about emptiness or whether we're talking about not self, it's simply a metaphor to describe the fleeting experience latent within each exhalation, which is profound, yet temporary. For the moment we begin our next inhalation, the cycle begins afresh. So if meditation is not about controlling our experience, what is it? It's about making a habit of cooperating with our autonomic nervous system in such a way that we effortlessly master the Buddha's Eightfold Path in as little as 7 days. The fourth enlightenment factor is joy. The fifth enlightenment factor is tranquility. Joy and tranquility are the litmus test of our practice. If our strategy is making us physically and intellectually and emotionally so unresilient that we're worthless for numerous hours afterwards, then it's time to revisit our strategy. Whether you are fond of the phrase dialectic materialism, or you prefer the phrase the scientific method, what we do is simple. We decide what we want, we take action, we notice the results. We try to notice a pattern in the results and use the results to adjust our next course of action. Doing so helps us to evolve and grow in whatever discipline we're pursuing. We see that in the life of the Buddha, be he real or be he mythical. He was raised enjoying a debaucherous experience. He then explored asceticism. He had no less than 2 monastic teachers. He then lived with ascetics in the forest. He then started from scratch. So he started from scratch, let's see, 1 after leaving the palace, 2 after leaving his first teacher, 3 after leaving his second teacher, 4 after being abandoned by, after abandoning asceticism, and then 5 finding the middle way. So everyone, including the Buddha, has had to go back to the drawing board. The mark of genius is not how many times you fail, but how many times you decide to learn from your failure, get up, brush yourself off, and intelligently move forward. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. For Meditate Like a Jedi is made possible thanks to the generosity of viewers, just like you.